This might be an unusual video for a type of video that I would have on my channel, but it is a topic that I'm passionate about, and a friend recently posted on social media about this topic, and that's what has inspired me to make this video today. Hello, my name is Lynn, and welcome to my channel. One of the things that I am passionate about is finances. I am the weird person that enjoys tax season. I love doing taxes. I love balancing a checkbook. I love playing with numbers. Yes, I've already been told by some friends that I am quirky in this regard. But when it comes to finances, I know the hobby that we're in, just medieval Renaissance reenactment, that this hobby can quickly become expensive depending on how far you're traveling. Now you have gas in your vehicle, wear and tear on your vehicle. Now, are you staying in a hotel or are you staying in a tent? Okay, is that tent a mundane pop-up tent, or is it a canvas period tent? Well, that also costs money, and it can just build up. You have your site fees, then you have food, but then you have fabric to make the garb, or money to just pay for the garb that has already been made. And then if you do fighting, then you have to buy your helm and maybe either make your shield or buy a shield, make your armor or buy your armor. Either way, things can get quite expensive in this hobby. And so one of the things that I have noticed a couple of times in conversations with friends is that finances come up either in conversation, or maybe something gets mentioned on social media about how you could be making $75,000, $100,000 a year, and then they still can't seem to make ends meet. And I totally get this, but at the same time, I'm also one where I have found myself in a variety of financial situations over the course of my adult life. If you are curious about the financial situations that I found myself in earlier in my adulthood, and our paths cross in person, please feel free to ask me and I can tell you what happened. All I can say right now on this is that I had lessons learned the hard way, but that's also what inspired and sparked my fascination with numbers and getting all the numbers to fit. And from there, that's also what's inspiring this video, is simply if you find yourself in a spot where either A, you don't know anything about your finances, you don't know anything about creating a budget, anything like that, then I would highly recommend checking out Dave Ramsey and the Ramsey channel. I will have a link below in the description for that. And I think following the Ramsey plan is more for someone who either doesn't know about budgeting or finances. If you're looking to just start sticking your toe in and learning about the baby steps. First you come up with $1,000 emergency fund. That's your first baby step. And then he teaches the differences between the debt snowball versus the debt avalanche. And this is paying off all your debts minus the mortgage. The mortgage comes later in the baby steps. But if you do the debt snowball, that's putting all of your debts in order from least to greatest, rather than the debt avalanche, which then takes the debt with, say, the highest interest rate or the highest amount, and then paying it down. And then the thing with the debt snowball is if you pay off the smallest loan first, then that's inspiration to pay off the next smallest, and it works your way up like a snowball. And he's found that with what they've found is that if you do this debt snowball method, a lot of times people will stick with it rather than doing the debt avalanche method, where mathematically the avalanche method works better, but it doesn't work with human nature. So if you are just starting off with finances, you want to learn how to create a budget, how to follow baby steps to pay off your debt and hopefully get to some financial security, I recommend watching Dave Ramsey and The Ramsey Show. If you are someone who already has your debts paid off and you're looking more for maybe advice on index funds to invest in, or okay, I've paid off everything but the mortgage, where do I go from here? If you have a little bit more of a financial budgeting background, then I would recommend watching the Money Guy show. And with that, they have their financial order of operations, which are similar to the baby steps, but there are a couple more steps to the financial order of operations, and some of the steps are changed up from the baby steps, but it still follows a similar principle. And again, this is if you are interested in creating a budget and paying off debt and hopefully finding some financial security. Either of these channels I think are really great. If you just want to learn about little things about finances, then another channel I enjoy watching is called Erin Talks Money. And with that one, her videos tend to be roughly about 10 minutes long, and she just brings up a certain topic, and then here are surveys to demonstrate whatever the point is that she's trying to make in that video. So if you're specifically looking for, should I be investing in 401ks? Well, then you can look through her videos, find a 401k video and watch that, and then maybe learn the differences between should you be investing in with IRAs, should it be a traditional or a Roth, and just that that channel can also be financially helpful. And another suggestion I have as far as helping to create a budget, because like I said, I know our hobby is a bit expensive, or it can be, and it really breaks my heart when I hear of a friend who could be making, say, $100,000 at a job, and yet they're living paycheck to paycheck. And on one hand, I really want to help. At the same time, I know at least in America, the whole kind of culture around money, it feels kind of almost like an invasion of privacy if you just say, hey, let me look at your numbers and see if I can help you fix you. I mean, if the person didn't ask for help, they're just trying to vent, then you can't really offer the assistance, but you still feel bad. But if habits don't change, then their situation might not change, and it starts with the person first. And if anything, I'm hoping maybe this video will help with that. If you have questions about financing or budgeting or anything, like I said, this is a topic I'm passionate about. But one of the things, if you are looking for a little extra money, I did a video on another channel of mine, and with that one, you should probably check out, it's missingmoney.com. I will have a link below in the description for the video that I did previously. The missingmoney.com, that is specifically money that, we'll say 5 years ago you were living someplace else, and say you went to the doctors a couple of times and it looked like the insurance was going to pay X amount, so then they automatically billed you a certain amount. But then come back later, a month or two, the insurance did pay, and then they paid more than what they originally thought that they were going to pay. And then now your account has, we'll say, a $20 credit on your account. And then time goes by, because at first that doctor's office will probably just leave the $20 credit there for the next time you come in, and then that $20 gets applied to your next visit. But then say you moved, or you just switched doctors, and it takes maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years before like the doctor's office goes through their books, closes out your account, but then they have this $20. But say it's been 3 years and you no longer live at the place you were living at. Well, they have to do something with this money, and so then it gets turned over to the state, and then the state holds on to this $20 until you claim the money. So that's where missingmoney.com comes into play. You go through, you select what state, and then your name, and what city you lived in, and then you can go through and see if you can locate your name, and then you would have to provide proof to show you are who that person, the person you're claiming to be on their website, to then possibly get that money back. But if it was originally your money and it's money that's due to you, this is a way to maybe find extra money to help out. But I will have a link below in the description for that video to help further explain that. But I highly recommend checking it out, because you never know. You might have $20 sitting there, you might have $100, you might have nothing, you might have more, who knows? But you don't know until you check it out. When looking at your finances, when looking at creating a budget, one of the things I recommend is, at least within our hobby, is if you can find a way to share a ride with someone. So that way, instead of paying all the gas money yourself, now you're splitting the gas money with someone else. Same goes with, like, maybe if you have to crash in a hotel, maybe see if there's someone else who also needs hotel space, and then the two of you can split the cost of the room. It helps with lowering how much money you are spending towards your hobby. But one of the things that I would recommend, I at least know, I used this before the pandemic started, and I live in the Mid-Realm, which is the Middle Kingdom, and the SCA, which is the Society for Creative Anachronism. And before the pandemic, there was an active group on Facebook, and I believe it's still technically active. I just haven't seen much activity in it, but that doesn't mean it can't start back up with activity. And that was the Mid-Realm Rideshare program, and this was so that people who could post to the group and then say, hey, I'd like to go to Coronation, I'd like to go to Crown, is there someone? So you could say, hey, I've got an extra seat in my vehicle, who needs a ride? Or you could say, hey, I'd like to go, does anyone have a seat available for me to hitch a ride? And then you could coordinate with people on, hey, I will be driving through that town, can you meet me here? And then we could go on together. And at least that's one way to help either get people to the event, but also help maybe lower the cost of going to the event by sharing the gas money with someone else. If you have any other suggestions about budgeting within our hobby, or if you just have questions about finances that I might be able to answer, please post your questions down in the comments below. Thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video and would like to watch more of my videos, please follow the links on the side of the page. Please select thumbs up that you like the video. It helps with the algorithm. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. And please click subscribe and ring the bell to be updated when new videos come out. Within our hobby, please leave your questions or your comments below in the comments below. Or suggestions about budgeting within our hobby, please leave your comments below in the questions about finances, or please leave your questions and comments below in the comments.